Hey, everybody. It's Penny, and I'm back with another episode of Penny on Your Thoughts. And I want to share something that so many people know, but let me back that up. So many people understand, but they don't know. Okay. We can seek knowledge, information, mentorship, and all the things. And until we've done this one thing, it's not going to make a difference in our life. And when I talk about knowing, that means we've had the lived experience, we've learned the lesson from it, and we have become the version of us who's learned that lesson. And here we go, embodied it. So let's just back up a little bit here. Most of you don't know this about me. You have seen me online, and I connect with so many people who are like, oh my God, you have this amazing business. I want to be like you. Maybe no, you don't. Maybe no, you don't. There were a lot of lessons to get to where I am. There was a time in my life where I was doing everything right, but nothing was actually moving in my life. Okay. And I'm going to back up just a little bit. I just want you to think, for me personally, um, just think my business. But this can come in any area of our life where we're wanting to move in a different direction. We're wanting to grow. It could be about seeking someone out for a relationship, leaving a relationship. It can be about setting boundaries and moving somewhere that we want to move, that maybe our family's like, what are you, crazy? You're moving. Becoming a parent, making big changes in the way you do things. You can put anything in the blanks here, but for me personally, I want you to think business. I spent a lot of time learning. I spent a lot of time preparing. When I was getting ready to do something, I would spend a lot of time preparing, getting everything lined up, figuring things out, attempting to understand where things could go wrong, and mapping out every step. Now, there is this saying in business: 70% is success and perfection is failure. In those growing phases, I was lining up the dominoes, so to speak, and I wasn't getting any closer to what I wanted. And here and there, I was making changes, going, oh, well, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should go virtual. Maybe I should take an online business course. I knew I needed to learn how to be a business owner because I had nobody in my life to model that for me. And I didn't like the idea of throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. It felt overwhelming to me. But in my attempts to line everything up, so I always knew what was coming next. I want you to hear what I'm saying. So I always knew what was coming next. I thought I was being smart. Okay. I told myself, you know what? You're getting ready. You're going to have more clarity. Everything will be lined up, and then I can move. But here's what I didn't see at the time: I wasn't getting ready. I was hesitating. I was hiding. And here's the thing: our minds will trick us to keep us in what it thinks is a safe space. Your hesitation doesn't show up as fear, it shows up as logic. It feels like this idea that certainty is a good thing. It's the illusion of figuring things out first, being prepared. The Boy Scouts always be prepared. It's not about being prepared, it's about being resourceful. But I digress. The belief that you need to see the whole path before you take the first step, while it sounds responsible to be so meticulous in that attention to detail before you start, it sounds strategic. It is the quietest way that fear will control you in your life, because that's what it is. I mean, I've even had friends and clients who wanted to make a big move in their business, or maybe they wanted to leave a job and start their own business. And I'm going to tell you some things they all had in common, okay? They had the vision, they had the talent, they had everything they needed to succeed. But instead of making the move, they spend time preparing because they're worried, afraid. The subconscious is afraid something is going to happen if they're not. Okay. So some of them might have been taking one more course. Someone else may have been looking for the very specific, perfect branding expert, like it has to be just right. Someone else may go off on projects serving others that helps other people's businesses, but then they're not actually doing the projects that will help their own business, right? It's just another form of hesitation. In these situations, they believed what they're doing was strategic, that they're setting themselves up to unlock something else for them. But what was actually happening is they're going in circles, doing a lot of things and not gaining any momentum, not getting any more clarity, not building their confidence in themselves. And the most painful part is deep down, they know they're ready to move. So the hesitation is creating a frustration because they can feel it. They can hear that inner voice saying, just go already. But they don't trust it. They push it aside because they rationalize their way out of it. I'm going to tell you, talking yourself out of the future you want is the one thing that most people excel at. Because going into your intuition and what you fully believe in many times is contrarian to what most people tell you you should think, you should believe, you should do, or what is required. So when your intuition is telling you to do this and you keep going, no, I'm going over here, I'm going over here, you build this sense inside of yourself that you can't trust yourself. You're telling your own voice, I don't trust you. This isn't right. And you end up putting more weight on external validation, what people think of you, the accolades they give you. You listen to logic and strategy over the pull of your gut. Wait for proof before you believe in yourself. And the thing is, your intuition is not going to scream above the voices in the crowded room. It's not going to scream above your doubt. Your intuition is not going to fight for your attention the way that fear does. If something is fighting for your attention, that is your ego. That is fear. Your intuition is never going to demand that you pay attention. It's going to whisper. It's going to nudge. It's going to ask you over and over again, are you coming? Are you coming? And most of the time, that quiet inner knowing gets drowned out by the overthinking, the hesitation, what if I get it wrong spiral. We get into all of this overwhelm. But the thing is, the hesitation doesn't just slow you down, it actually creates stress where there doesn't need to be any. I'm going to do a separate podcast or maybe a masterclass on dysregulation because I'm hearing this a lot. And the people who are talking to me are saying, well, it's overwhelm. We create the overwhelm. Okay. And when we understand that, the overwhelm does not create the dysregulation. What happens before the feelings manifest in the body as dysregulation creates a sense of overwhelm. So think about it. How many times have you absolutely exhausted yourself, not because you were doing too much, but because you were overthinking every little thing? And it was taking far more time, effort, and attention to actually move forward on what you want. How many times have you drained your own energy? Because not that the thing itself was hard, but because you were constantly second guessing if you were making the right move. How many times have you felt anxious, not because something was actually wrong, but because you kept running scenarios in your mind, attempting to predict every possible outcome? This is where I tell people control is an illusion. We get to let that go because all of this hesitation, it's an energy leak. It's a weight in your chest when you know that you want to move, but you don't move towards it. It's the frustration in your relationship when you don't say what you really mean. It's the plateau in your business when you keep waiting for the right strategy instead of trusting your own instincts. It's the moment that you wake up and realize that you've spent time preparing for your next level, more time preparing for your next level than actually living it. And here's the kicker: the life that you say that you want, you know, that version of you is already here. She's already here. She doesn't hesitate. She moves first. The evidence shows up, the proof comes, and then everything aligns it and moves forward. In the moment that you choose to be her, everything speeds up. What's keeping you in this pattern is the hesitation. It's not just delaying your success, it's disconnecting you from yourself, because every time you feel something deep in your bones and you ignore it and you question it and you overanalyze it, you weaken your own self-trust. You teach yourself that someone else's answers are more reliable than your own knowing, and you train yourself to need the signs and approval before you can make a move. So that fear tricks you into believing you that certainty has to come before your action. But here's something to think about. What if, what if the only reason you didn't feel certain is because you haven't fully trusted yourself yet? And I want you to think about something for a second. Just take a moment. Let's have a little fun visualization exercise. Imagine you're standing at the edge of the ocean. The water's warm, it's inviting, it's calling you in. You know you want to dive in, you know how good it's going to feel, right? I love being in the water in the ocean. But yet you hesitate. You inch your way forward, you test the water, you take forever, but you finally let yourself in. But in that moment, what should have been pure joy turns into this long, drawn out, uncomfortable process. And the thing is, the ocean never changed. What changed was the way you allowed yourself to experience it. What changed was the way you allowed yourself to experience it. Are you in the process of expanding who you are and how you're showing up in the world? Have you finally said enough? What if you could fast track that alignment and embody that shift in a place that is energetically aligned and supports your expansion? If you're ready to be who you're meant to be without any limits, I invite you to join me for an exclusive retreat in Sedona, Arizona. It's happening April 28th to May 2nd, and there are only a few spots left. It's all inclusive. All you have to do is show up and allow yourself to be ready to receive what it is that is going to allow you to expand. So if you're ready to see your life change in a way that you will be so excited that you never want to see it end, head over to the website pennychason.com/Sedona and apply today. These spots are going to go fast. What if the success that you want's already there? It's just waiting for you. And what if that happiness that you've wanted, that you haven't allowed yourself to fully feel, is here? What if the ease and the flow and the deep sense of alignment you've been seeking doesn't come after you figure it all out, but the second that you stop hesitating and let yourself step into it? It's embodiment. It's being that person. It's not having a checklist. It's not doing it for a little bit and then forgetting about it. It's about who you're becoming. So where in your life are you still waiting? Your happiness and your freedom is here for you. So where are you still waiting? Where Are you still negotiating with yourself over what has to happen for you to move forward? Where are you still hesitating when you already know the answer? That one hits, doesn't it? Because I know you feel it. I've been there. I've been there. People say, Penny, I want to be like you. Well, maybe you don't. Okay. Where are you still hesitating when you already know the answer? And what would happen if starting today you simply chose to move, not from the version of you who hesitates, not from the version of you who overthinks, not from the version of you that still needs proof, but from the version of you who already knows? Because the moment you stop waiting, everything else stops waiting for you too. The moment you stop waiting, everything else stops waiting for you. Who are you choosing to become today? I'll talk to you later. Bye now.